Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Sorry, we're running late. Eddie Block, it's the Eddie Block Show. What's up, Pamela G? What's up, Gavin? How's everybody doing today? I am tired. Let's roll. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing today? It is Thursday. Man, am I tired, man. I went on a road trip this week. That's why we haven't been here. Freaking, I was up all day yesterday. I left my where I was at around like 11 o'clock last night. Didn't get home until around 10:30 this morning. Crazy tired. And then everybody's having technical issues today. I don't know what the heck is going on. Our guest called me like 5 minutes before the show and was having some technical issues and said that they're going to be here. And then now all of a sudden, um, she's unavailable for some reason. So something's going on around there. It's just not the day. And so we're going to have to figure this out. And we're just going to hang out for a little bit. We're going to talk to y'all because I'm sure she'll show up. She is a very on time person normally. So who knows what the heck's going on, but we're all good. How is your guys' week going? Anything good going on today in the world? Is there anything at all good going on today in the world? I don't know. Like I said, I have been out of it for a few days. Man, I was driving home today, and it was a 11-hour drive from where I was, and on I'm getting tired. When you stay up all night. I drank like two monsters. There she is. She says she's having tech problems. Almost resolved. All right, no problem. Um, Sorry. Let me let her know. So anyway, so yeah, I'm driving and what I had like so last night throughout the night, I should say, I had like two monsters. I had a coffee. I had my Celsius energy drink. I like those things. And man, it was just weird. It was just weird. I just getting tired still. And I'm driving through. I finally get into Yosemite because I cut across Yosemite. What's up, Lauren? Gavin says he's hopefully Rumble doesn't bombard you with ads. Are they getting worse? Unfortunately, that's what it is. It costs them a lot of money to put on this platform and stuff. So I mean, they got to make their money, and I get like half a cent or something what you guys watch. I don't know what it is, um, but so yeah, um, I'm cruising through Yosemite, and I was going a little bit over the speed limit, tired, and all of a sudden I see a deer come running right across in front of me, and I'm slowing down, and my stepdad always told me, because he's lived up here a long time, and you see one deer, there's always a second one. So I'm slowing down. I see that second deer, and he gets across, and I'm like, all right, cool. I should be good. And then this third deer jumps out in front of me. Thank goodness I had my wits to me and slammed on the brakes. My truck is tall. I didn't see the deer for a second. I'm like, oh, I hope I didn't hit my truck. And then it kept running. So, I mean, when stuff like that happens, your brain goes, it seems like it's going, seems like the world stops, so like the deer went from this fast to all of a sudden it's going, like the Bionic Man type stuff. Dun, 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 dun. Thank goodness I didn't hit that thing. And so that kind of woke me up a little bit. And I'm driving through Yosemite and I'm going a little bit fast. And all of a sudden I see a car behind me with lights and sirens up on top. They're not turned on, but so you're like, man, oh man, am I gonna get pulled over? I'm tired. I can only imagine what they're gonna think. The cop followed because there's it's just one road coming up Tioga Pass and stuff. There's little turnoff and stuff. So I'm being followed for like half an hour, and you don't want to just pull off right away because then it looks like you're doing something wrong, which I wasn't. So, I'm driving, I'm whistling, I keep looking at the cop, and you start getting worried a little bit. All of a sudden, I go, excuse me, I'm my, when you don't get a lot of sleep, you start getting sick. You notice that? I get that all the time. But anyway, so yeah, so we're doing, I'm worried even more because then you start worrying, like, oh man, I just went over the line a little bit. Man, is he gonna? So finally, after like half an hour, I pulled over and he went by, and I was like, I don't need any tickets. Those things are expensive. I've been doing really good driving. I haven't had a ticket in the longest time. So you know how that goes. Um, so how are you guys doing today? What did I miss? Did anything happen that I should know about over the weekend? Because I went out and I took a much needed break, hung out with an awesome friend of mine, and had an amazing time. So I wasn't focused on any news at all this week. I focused on just life and making life good. And now I'm much happier. So yeah. Um, but tonight we're gonna have a good guest. Her name is Alicia Powe. She should be here any second. She's having a little bit of technical issues. But Alicia, I met her through the Proud Boys trial, and honestly, I've never met her. We've talked on the phone and we've chatted, and it has become her mission to help out all the J6 political prisoners. She has devoted all of her time to helping these people out, and it's just amazing what work she's doing. You When you see her, you might recognize her work. She has been on. She's done work for Gateway Pundit. She's done work for Alex Jones. Work for WND.com. I might be saying that wrong. Let's hope I'm not. But she is a very intelligent young woman, and she is going to be the next up and coming person in the news, I think. So she has been working on, all this January, helping out the January 6th political prisoners, and she's working with every one of them. No bias whatsoever. She's just helping every single one of these people, and so we are going to start working together. We're going to start bringing you a show, passing along the stories of these political prisoners, what they're going through, what's going on with them as they're in prison right now and or in jail, and we're going to try and help them. She was explaining to me how a lot of these trials, they need witnesses and star witnesses, and witnesses cost money. They need money when they're in jail. I mean, they're being deprived of stuff. They're not being treated very well in jail. They're insurrectionists, right? These guys walked around the building, or maybe not even walked around the building, and are getting long sentences in jail. We had a Supreme Court decision that should be throwing out most of these cases recently, but yet nothing is happening for these prisoners. So that's why Alicia asked me if I could help her in her mission to help out all these political prisoners from January 6th. And I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no at all. So that's what we're doing. Gavin says, you missed President Trump do a great interview yesterday with Andrew Schultz. You posted it in Discord for everybody. Let me go we can go look it up, or actually, let's hang out on X for a little bit. Let's go to X right now, and let's see what's going on X. And while Alicia's getting her devices connected and working, and let's just check out X, see what's going on over there. Excuse me. Whoa, not good. Not good. Let me see if I make this a little bit, but no, it's too big, isn't it? Too big. So let's just see what's going on in X world right now. You know what's awful about this? When I do that, I can't read the chats. Interesting. I wonder if there's a way to do that. Gotta figure this out now. We're using a new program we're testing out, but yeah. So I wonder. I know another way I could do it. We could do it a different way. Well, anyways, let's just we'll start out looking for Alicia. We'll show you some stuff on her, and that way it gives you a little chance to see the person that we are talking about. Is her? No, that is not her. I wasn't prepared to go this way, thinking, that she was going to be here a little bit earlier. Stuff happened. Here's the best way to do it. Come on. Now I can't find anything on her. Let's do all. Now my internet's messing up. Here, we'll show you this story. This is from 4 years ago. And this is
Alicia Powe. She's a journalist and political analyst in Washington, D.C. Alicia, good to have you with us. So we know the vote is almost certainly going to be passed along partisan lines, but do you think there'll be any surprises, any defections from Democrats or Republicans?
Well, you know, there's 31 Democrats who represent swing districts who might decide to censor the president instead of going with impeachment because they're going to face backlash going into 2020. The bottom line is this is going to get dismissed in the Senate. And the only reason the Democrats are moving forward with impeachment is because they stand no chance.
But just so you guys know, too, this was before the election was before the election. So this is an older article. I'm just kind of buying time until she finishes up with her little problems with her internet, which I understand a lot of people are having internet issues today. I guess since I have Starlink, maybe that's why mine's not messing up, because we have good old Elon Musk doing things right over there at Starlink, right? Helping out people, helping out everybody in the hurricane areas. And she is on the East Coast, so who knows what's going on over there right now.
Chance to win the presidency in 2020. You
Right,
have
Lauren?
the person the man they wanted to be their front runner is the person is responsible for the real crimes in Russia. And the 63 Americans who voted for Donald Trump and will vote to re-elect Donald Trump all know that. President Trump was simply making a call to investigate corruption on the Democratic side. And that's a promise he made to the American people when they all chanted at his rallies in 2016, lock her up. Is we wanted to see some accountability on the Democrat side. And where does it say in the Constitution the president cannot investigate corruption or call for it to be investigated? You have Joe Biden, he's yelling at his own constituents at rallies for simply raising the question that his son, the Hunter Biden, is in fact who is responsible for quid quo pro and bribery, not the Republicans and not Donald Trump.
Okay, well, I mean, clearly, these are the kind of questions that are going to be asked when we get to the next stage, which is a trial in the Senate. And that, of course, is controlled by the Republicans. So, you know, he's not going to be removed from office, is he? So are people asking, what is the point of all this?
That's absolutely what Americans are asking. In fact, Democrats, according to a CNN poll released yesterday, Democrats aren't even for impeaching the president. It was 90% of Democrats who were for it, and now it's just down to 70. And definitely independent and swing state voters are not buying the liberal narrative. There's no reason for our president to be removed from office. The economy is at record levels. You know, more Americans are back to work than ever before. In American history, we have more Black Americans, more Hispanics at work. You've got president working on prisoner reform. And
nevertheless,
so the Democrats
sorry to interrupt you, but he's been accused of abuse of power and obstruction of justice, obstructing Congress. I mean, these are damaging allegations. He's going to go down in history as the third U.S. president to be impeached. All of this, surely, harming his standing on the international arena, at least, as...
So that's Alicia. That's who we're going to be talking to in just a little bit. And she, in fact, just said she's about to log on right now. So pretty soon we're going to have this lovely young lady on our show, and she's going to be helping everybody out over there January 6th. Does anybody have any... ideas of what they're going through right now in the prison or in the jails? If you have any questions for her, like I said, she's going to be here any minute, and as soon as she gets here, we're going to start the interview. I didn't have anything planned other than this today, so you know, life happens. So we're just winging it today, guys. Sorry, you know, normally I have a whole entire news thing set up for you guys, everything ready to go, but technology is finicky sometimes, and you know, let me see. Let me go over here, and let's see what we can show you, and what else we can show you guys that's going on in the world. Because the problem is, if I go to the other screen, then I won't know when she's going to show up, which is no bueno. Let's see. We'll go up here maybe, and we'll mess around over here. Let's see if we can do something here, and see if we can switch some good old stuff around. We'll do some export over here. That's what we can do. And I can do it differently than what I was just doing. Like I said, once again, guys, we are tired today. Life is a little crazy. There we go. We can share it this way. And then. We'll go do some X. Let's see what's going on in X today. What's in the X world? How many people still call this darn thing Twitter? I mess up all the time and call it Twitter. We highly suggest evacuation. This guy's getting high. He's getting high in the middle of a hurricane. Holy jeez. What the heck is going on here? Adult Swim just... Okay, we got to show this. Oh, there's no sound? Oh, shoot. Sorry, you guys don't have sound there? Okay, hold on 1 second. Why no sound? Why is there no sound? Interesting. Oh, wait, we'll try something else then. I got something else we can try for you guys. Sorry. It's because I'm not... Oh, I know. We'll do this. We'll go right here. We'll do it over here. I guess we're going to have to do it over here. Copy video address. Paste. I got you guys. I got you guys covered. Why is it not showing up now? How do you guys not have sound? Copy video address. Paste. Here we go. Like I said, we're just waiting on Alicia. She should be here any second. Here we go. We'll play it. Now you guys should be able to hear it. All right, hold on.
Hurricane. It breaks my heart. My heart is heartbroken. So to help the victims of the
I can hear it
hurricane,
now.
I'll be sending another $600 million to Ukraine. That way you can feel safe knowing you're making a difference to people in need.
Oh, tell them about our immigration policy.
What's that?
Tell them about our immigration policy.
Oh, I get it. So since we've been helping the victims of the hurricane by sending money to illegal
you, Gavin.
immigrants so they have the help they need, we encourage everyone from North Carolina to go to Mexico and come back as an illegal immigrant. That way we can help you help yourself. Hang on, I'm getting a call. Hello?
Hi, this is Iran. We heard you're trying to help the hurricane victims.
Yes, I am.
Well, we think that you can help them by sending money to us.
Oh, that's a great idea. I sure do love helping those hurricane victims. Let me just ask you, are you in need?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then I hereby send you $1.2 billion in aid in order to help the victims of the hurricane.
Oh, fantastic. Trust me, this will go a long way for the stranded people in North Carolina.
I sure
Right,
do love
Gavin?
helping victims of the hurricane who just so happen to be victims of a hurricane.
That's hilarious. So that was from Adult Swim. Oh my goodness! Wow, that is too much, isn't it? That is too much. So I didn't want to show this yesterday, but apparently this is now true. I thought this could have been AI.
In our
So,
society,
because
guys are smarter
you
than
don't
girls.
really-
You got some
you don't really see the voice match, so I wasn't sure. I don't like sharing videos because it sounded off to me. But apparently this guy was now relieved of his duties at work. So I'm going to show the video
guys
now.
are smarter than girls. You got some serious problems. That's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that. Guys are smarter than girls. You got some serious
I
problems.
know what the heck's going on with this guy.
That's what frustrates me. there are going to be some males in our
So,
society
from
that
what I understand, this guy has now been put on temporary leave. So we'll have to see what happens with that. We'll have to see. Let me try this, and because I want to be able to see when she comes in. So we're gonna switch it up. Oh, here she is. Hold on, she's almost here. We've got to get her to turn her sound on, and then turn her camera on. And Alicia is almost here. I see her down there. I got her sound is on now. Alicia, can you hear us? Hello? We're still having a few technical issues, guys. We're working on it. We're almost there.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you see me? Because I
No,
don't
I
know
cannot.
where. Okay, well, let me turn my camera on. What? I don't know. There we are.
There she is. Hello,
Oh, man.
Miss Alicia. How are you doing today?
Oh, the world of technology. If it's not one thing, it's another.
I hear you. I hear everybody's having internet nowadays, internet issues today.
Well, you know, a lot of people got hacked, Eddie. I don't even know what
that
that's
what's going
about,
on?
but I think about like 10 people messaged me saying that I got hacked and they got hacked, and it's technology for you, right?
Yeah, it's not always going to work, is it? Well, anyway,
Well,
so
I mean, that's the whole conundrum we find ourselves in today.
it is.
Is technology going to kill us or make
Yeah.
us, make us or break us?
AI is good, but it's also scaring the heck out of me. I'm telling you right now.
I think the world is changing so fast. You can't type it up fast enough.
No.
It'll make your head explode.
No. Well, anyway, so welcome to the show. This is a good friend of mine. This is Miss Alicia Powe. And how are you doing today, other than your technology issues?
It's always a good day when I'm here on a broadcast with you, able to talk about the truth a little bit.
Wonderful.
And all the things we've gone through over the semesters in politics and spiritual warfare.
Yes.
How are you doing, Eddie?
I'm tired, but I'm doing very well. I drove all night from my little road trip to go see a friend, and so I got about 4 hours of sleep. But at least I'm here with a nice person who's trying to help out a ton of people who are going through such pain and struggle right now, which they should not be going through.
I don't believe in trying. Do or do not.
True.
There is no try.
There is no try. Well, let's start off. What's that? I'm sorry?
Trying would require like stopping, doubting, or quitting or something. We're relentless in this town.
Definitely.
Save people.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? What have you been, or where did you get started, and what are you currently working on?
Oh man, where did we get started? We got started in the streets of New York, wondering why everyone has the same opinion about big things and big issues without much study or investigation, including myself. And then we go to digging and digging and digging like an archaeologist for all the world's truths. And then you want to spread the good news. Hey guys, you know, the Ku Klux Klan, they're all Democrats.
Right.
And then people want to kick you out. And they want to beat you up. And it's like that everywhere you go, and you think you need oxygen. And you figure it out. And you become a fighter. At least an info warrior.
Info warrior. It's funny how you mention that, which you are definitely an info warrior. You have been doing great things. You write some amazing stories, and lately you've been helping out all of our political prisoners that are stuck in jail because of January 6th and because of people like Nancy Pelosi, who I don't even know if we need to talk about Nancy Pelosi, but let's talk about you and what you've been doing lately to help out these political prisoners.
Oh man, it's been such a whirlwind. I just went to see two of our mutual friends in court and realized they were stranded in a 6x8 cell for 17 months. And those two friends were Enrique Tarrio and Joe Biggs, who I had brushed shoulders with on my way to Trump International, where so many great events, amazing events had taken place. I mean, I think during President Trump's administration, we've never had the executive office in quite some time so close to the people. We had the press briefing rooms packed. I mean, elbow to elbow, no AC packed.
Yeah.
And then you'd go into this magnificent hotel and everyone would be there within the administration and visitors from town. And it was quite a lot of American greatness, like on full-fledged kapow. And so, you know, during that time is where I met two of the political prisoners who are serving. They're supposed to serve. That's not going to happen. But they've been sentenced. Enrique was to 22 years, 17 years.
For Joe,
and Eddie, you actually, you know, we started to correspond again because you testified in their trial so courageously. I wasn't there during your testimony, but we talked, I think, right after.
We did.
And it's just very moving to yourself as an observer, sit in the gallery of that courthouse for, I would say, a plurality of at least 10 hours, 12 hours, not 12 hours. It feels like 12 hours a day, though, because you just wake up, you leave, you get home at 7 o'clock at night, you go back there at 7 a.m., you write the story after, and you feel like you're sitting in a straitjacket.
Yeah.
You feel like you're sitting inside the Twilight Zone and you're not allowed to speak. And they're not allowed to speak. And the people who have been delegated to speak for us don't understand the information work that much. So that's how I started with all of this. Well, there's a maze here. My first impression of January 6th is, what the hell are these people doing?
Right.
Oh, great. We've all been through that building, but then, you know, upon the guilty verdicts, the lawyers they provide some of the discovery. And you can see the government, literally, I would say in my words, lawyers won't say this, that they have their own opinions or their own capability of speaking only so much with these regulations to keep their bar licenses and their practices and all of this. But as a reporter on the scene, I will say, you look at the discovery, you see how it all started, and it was the police shooting people in the face.
Yes.
Like, shooting people in the face. And then not just that, then, okay, they're shooting people in the face. So is there little kids? There's little kids there. Little kids were there running around while people were getting shot. Then flash grenades were thrown, flash bombs, whatever you want to call it. I don't think the average person is cognizant of less than lethal munitions or excessive force regulations. And so you see, it was a setup. Our friends have been set up. Patriots, where 80% veterans are set up. And it's so big, Eddie, you're going to have to, you know, navigate the conversation on what it is you'd like to highlight, because I've told the stories or have been in communicado with at least 2 dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen, I don't know, how many Sixers that I've corresponded with, knowing that Uncle Sam is breathing down our necks. Over a meme, somebody gets a knock on the door, and I want to go back to Jeremy Brown's story before we're done, because they started with him to recruit him for January 6th over a meme, allegedly.
Yeah. And you know, you were talking about, you know, what they're doing there to people, you know, shooting at them and those flash grenades. Well, they also had another grenade, because I was sitting there, you know, because I was up there, and I see this thing come flying, and it looked like a grenade, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, you start freaking out, and when it explodes, all these little rubber things just shrapnel went everywhere. And I picked one up, and I thought I saved it. I don't know where it is, but I mean, that's what they're doing,
If you can't cry, you might as well just laugh.
right?
And then you decide, I'm not going to be the Joker. I'm not going to go to the dark side with this insanity that you're supposed to accept. But
sure.
shrapnel is flying. So there's a defendant, Ryan Samsel. I've been working on his case. We're looking at approaching a full year now, because this gentleman, who's also my peer, has blood clots. He's got a condition that causes him to get blood clots. He was prescribed surgery before his arrest to treat something called thoracic outlet syndrome that causes blood clots. The judge won't the judge won't listen to the doctors. The doctors change their stories. The Federal Bureau of Prisons is a human trafficking system. What they use is diesel therapy, torture on these buses that the U.S. taxpayers foot the bill for, to have them almost tortured. Like they're sitting in box cuffs for hours, starving. And so they transfer Samsel, I think it's now 28 times, to 19 different correctional facilities. And while this young gentleman has blood clots, they take him to Epstein's district, where he killed himself, where Diddy is right now.
Yeah.
And then there's so much that happens to stay focused on this one issue. When you look at how the J6ers are in the same cell block with the renowned child sex predators that are sanctioned by the Democrats all these years, who want to let pedophiles free. But if you say the election was stolen or COVID was a manufactured crisis, then you shall not exist, or so in a concentration camp.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy. If you don't agree with them, then, oh my gosh, you need to go to jail. We're going to silence you. You can't speak. You know what? There's no longer a free speech country anymore. It's just awful what we're doing. I don't know. Can you see the chat on there as well?
I don't have the luxury of taking the time to rumble and get a chat live going, but that's great. I love that we have the chat. Ask questions, because there's so many people that should ask more questions about everything before taking another pill, another shot, and going to McDonald's. Right? We need to figure out what reality is anymore.
When you speak about that, I have a Democrat friend. I have Democrat friends, because I don't not have friends just because of what they believe in and stuff. As long as they're nice to me, you can be my friend. I just don't talk politics. And this lady one day was telling me, she's like, Eddie, I'm so thankful for President Biden. I'm about to get my 7th booster shot. She called me the next day and says, oh my God, I got COVID. And I so wanted to say, gee, how's that booster shot working out for you? But I didn't want to be mean. It's just insane.
And I also find myself in the same predicament where I'm like, oh, you people with your 7 and 4 boosters, and you're I'm going to say something real crass. After you kicked me off the plane, after you cursed me out for no reason, patted me on the shoulder, and then ran away to call the petty tyrants when I made you squirm for having a spine.
Yeah.
We've been through so much, and then they murdered people in the hospital. But I've decided to choose a beat, right? I could write. We could write about everything. I could zoom in on the World Economic Forum as I did. We could go talk about SpaceX, which I will look forward to doing. But I decided to stick with the guys who went to the front, who spoke like I'm speaking right now, and sitting in prison for it. They're sitting in prison for thought crimes. And being subjects of a terror attack waged by the United States government against the American people and the United States sitting president. And so let's keep it there, because I find if we don't stay in the beat, it doesn't exist.
Yes. And so you personally been talking to almost all, if not all, of the political prisoners inside, and you're working with them. And so you would talk to me about this, and I think together our goal is we want to tell everybody's story when they're going to court and they need help with a couple dollars here, to pay for, their investigators or, with star witnesses and all that good stuff. And not a lot of people are out there helping them. And you've been there 12 hours, 14 hours a day, writing all day, researching all day to help them out. Can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing to help out everybody?
Well, first of all, when there's more prisoners to help, but there's 2 of them that are like classmates.
Mhm.
So those 2, and then those 2 turn into 5 because their co-defendants are honorable, courageous.
Yeah.
Everything that they should be. I'm sorry if you think it's bad to go and punch Antifa in the face when we couldn't go in our tuxedos and gowns to a single event without the cliche, like Ninja Turtle, the bad guys you see from the Ninja Turtle standing out there with their like spiked,
Yeah.
their like spiked faces, their masks, their drag queen, Satan, all of it. They've all
Yeah.
you couldn't walk. I remember the inauguration in 2017 of January. It was like 2 worlds. There was the red hats, and there was the witches, the demons, the Nazis.
Yeah.
Casting spells on us, like throwing Molotov cocktails in the Starbucks
Mhm.
just because they hate capitalism while they're on their iPhones and Bill Gatesing it up.
Yeah. So Enrique, we're going to talk about Enrique. So Enrique and I, we went to this rally in Beverly Hills in 2020, and so what they do is they shut down Rodeo Drive, and we're walking up and down Rodeo Drive, and all these people are flipping us off while they're standing in a line because only 2 or 3 people can go in the Hermes store or whatever their name is, flipping us off, because of what we're doing, and they hate capitalists, but yet they're standing in line to get a $5,000-$10,000 freaking purse, right? They hate capitalism, but they're buying this.
Oh no, they hate a lot. They just don't know much. Because you got to think, before you forge a strong opinion about something, how many hours have you dedicated to the subject? I can say I know investigators who've spent 2,000 hours on studying J6 footage, right? I'm not keeping track of time anymore. I know we got 25 days till we for sure know pardons are on the way.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that.
Mhm.
I'm not worried about any of it. I am worried about some people's lives, though, who've been having blood clots or heart attacks or cancer begging for surgery.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about the fact that in each transfer, I'll tell you a story that I wasn't allowed to print at the time.
Okay.
But I think I might have, because you don't want to jeopardize their lives anymore
Sure.
by saying too much.
Oh, 100%.
But
We don't want to damage
Joe
anybody.
Biggs, he almost died on the way to Alabama from the DC gulag. He went missing for a month. He said that his cuffs were so tight on his arms, they're about to split his wrists.
Wow.
Right? Like about to cut his wrist. He's going to start bleeding profusely if the cuffs stayed on any tighter. They have to defecate on themselves on the bus through this transferring process known as diesel therapy. Now, and then you go back for more. Let's go look at the super predators, Eddie. Look at the super predators. What is that about? Right? Where Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And they all talk like this. They all talk all hood when they come talk to people of color.
Yeah.
It's all interfused. It's all a boiling point. It's all a carcinogenic problem that comes to a boiling point. And January 6th is that tumor. Because as they targeted the Black and Hispanic men, including Diddy, with their conniving witch hunt, now they're targeting the lower white class known as patriots.
Big time. Big time.
We're all
And
patriots.
we are. And speaking of Patriots and Joe Biggs, I don't know if everybody that's watching, who knows how many people are watching right now, but they're talking about, Joe Biggs, and they're saying he's a terrorist. How is Joe Biggs, a man who has 2 Purple Hearts, a terrorist? He didn't go to war and get hurt once. He said, you know what? I love our country. I'm going to go back to war again and stand up for our country, and got hurt again.
Well, let's define terrorists, right? Because every given time you want to know what the enemy camp is up to, just look at what they're accusing you of. They themselves plotted seditious conspiracy. They are the seditious conspiracy of the Confederate Party throughout history. They are the ones pushing, I don't know, the big pharma causes a lot of the massacres, not the guns.
Right.
I mean, the other ones shoving vaccines down our throats to kill us. And then they want to call us terrorists if we say, how dare you? Or we want to punch them in the face. right? One defendant said they should be put in wood chippers in his personal correspondence. Had to go to court.
Yeah.
Be called a real super terrorist now. How dare you think of a blowtorch when the government is lighting cities on fire, causing train derailments,
Sure.
causing bridges to burn down, and allegedly navigating hurricanes to kill people right now?
Yeah.
How dare you talk?
It's awful. And you know, like a lot of these people, like Enrique wasn't even there. Joe, when he did go in, he walked around. Joe didn't punch anybody. He didn't knock anything over. He didn't break anything. But this man gets 17 years. Enrique gets 22 years for sitting in a hotel room 30 some odd miles away.
Oh, wait. Some people went and burned the Black Lives Matter flag that fell off of a church that came from China and cost 25 cents probably.
Yeah.
And now they're getting sued for like another $1.5 billion. There was a lawsuit that I missed and I have a report on where they're waging another lawsuit against the Proud Boys, Trump, all these people at the same time for like $1.5 billion.
Yes.
Just complete insanity. And I'll tell you why it's happening. Because there's an ongoing federal entrapment scheme, as there had been on January 6th. A lot of the journalists who are conservative or on the constitutionalist aisle of the lane were there that day.
Yeah.
So now they too have to pick between their family, their safety, their careers, or prison time. Right? Yeah. It's a small world. How many of there are in the conservative media world that are on camera? Like less than 1,000, less than 500. It's easy. We're an easy target.
Yes.
If you wanted to Project Veritas us.
Yeah, you gotta know about that, don't you? Just a little bit.
I didn't realize when I left Project Veritas, the whole world was operating like Project Veritas. Everybody had a code name. What is it? The Proud Boys all have code. Rufio. We got a Rufio on our side. I didn't know.
It's funny, you know, because so I actually testified for Rufio. It was his lawyer that subpoenaed me, and when I get it and it says Ethan Nordine, I'm like, who the heck is Ethan Nordine? Because all I knew was Rufio, you know, and you know, because that's how you do it.
I know. I wish we could play tapes here, because I didn't know Rufio or Ethan until I'm sitting. I never actually spoke to them until after they were sentenced.
Uh-huh.
I went to the jail, the Alexandria detention facility where they're held. And first of all, you know, I got to be honest. When I was locked in this L-shaped little space for visitation, I started getting claustrophobia, a little hyperventilating for the mere fact that they could just keep me there for thought crimes and wrong think. Right. And that space is a lot bigger than when where they're detained. Simultaneously, Eddie, the Lockerbie bomber who blew up a plane and killed some 400 people was held in general population. Simultaneously, while the J6ers are begging for surgery. I mean, I had one of them, Matthew Kroll, in the DC jail, says he had a heart attack, died, and came back, and they still didn't give him the surgery, proper surgery or treatment. Dominic Pizzola, we didn't know if he had cancer, but now, thankfully, it looks like he's in a precancerous state. No medical. Ryan Samsel, again, where he filed a pro se action in the Eastern District of New York. And they're still at his September 19th status hearing in D.C. Oh, we don't see any reports of why he needs surgery. Like, he just availed his whole medical history to the public in the lawsuit. But I guess the judge didn't have time to read it. And the lawyer doesn't have time to fight or care. His defense attorney.
Real quick, so you're talking about sharing media. I'm gonna share this with us. So when you talk about Ethan Rufio, this is probably where everybody knows him from. Can you see the video?
I was gonna say we should pull that up.
This is the video. So this is my buddy Rufio, Ethan Nordine. I'm gonna turn the sound down, but I call him the one punch wonder.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, he just knocks this dude out with one punch. just one singular punch. And
You notice how he still respects women, though, right?
he
The
did. He does.
misogynist didn't punch the woman in the face. He caught himself real fast. But the
He did.
longer version of that, there's an army of Antifa, right? And
Uh-huh.
he's just going in, and he's just interweaving through the Nazi clan, the fascistic, anti-fascist,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they're all ready to kill, but they're all little string beans. They have no stamina, they have no constitution, and they don't really know why they're there. They just fall asleep with MTV on and wake up and hate America.
Oh yeah, and
and
you know,
themselves.
so Rufio's this big, scary looking guy, right? But you know, he's
I don't know
really a
about
teddy
scary,
bear.
but
He's a teddy bear. So the first time I met him, we're all in Vegas, and I'm at this big, huge mansion, and he walks out. And I was like, oh shit, it's Rufio. He's like, hey, it's Eddie, and I'm like, no, it's Rufio. He's like, no, and so he comes up and gives me a big hug, you know, and we hung around all night, and then the next day we went to this boxing gym. And him and I actually did like a little WWE fake wrestling thing, you know. I mean,
that's outlawed too.
Yeah.
You know, the MSOSD, you're not allowed to have martial arts. You're definitely a terrorist if you want to defend yourself.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I mean,
you want to be a fighter.
He's the nicest guy in the world, you know. But he looks scary. Yeah, he could knock you out big time. But he's not the person they make him out to be whatsoever. I mean, he didn't even hurt anybody January 6th.
No, you know, it's a lot of these defendants. They really call on the American public to help fundraise and all of this. But I got to say, some of these guys, like I think Rufio, Ethan Nordine, has been the most modest. You know, just going. He doesn't reach out to the media. You know, his family just talks to his family. I haven't spoken to him in since he's been taken away. I'm honored to meet these people who put themselves in the front and have to be politically persecuted like Jesus Christ himself on a cross for thinking the way we think, which is honorable, which is, you know, everything that we believe in, this administration has defecated on. I've served in the White House as an intern. I had never cried tears of joy in my life until I was accepted to that internship. And I never had worked harder for something except for what does to come in the future.
Oh, yeah. And she's right. So Alicia's been telling me about what she's doing. You're working on some big, big things. We're gonna work together, and I'm gonna help you in the littlest way because you're doing all the hard work. And but you are gonna spread all the truth that's going on. You're going to tell everybody's story, and that's our focus coming up, right? We're going to pick.
Oh, we've been doing that. I think we need more sovereignty over narrative, and we have to be willing to sue first. We have to be willing to get sued when you're standing with the truth. And unfortunately, in conservative media, I mean, I've written about these stories. I've lived through it. You cannot have a job as a conservative journalist for more than a year or two at any given outlet. So they come to attack. They come to bankrupt you. You're censored. You're shadow banned. And so, they were purging 200 outlets at a time. Facebook was like Young Cons have gone. All of these networks that were actually booming. We were actually making, $10,000 a month to start on traffic articles would bring in. So it's understandable why, and I'm making excuses, quite frankly, but it's still understandable why so many conservative leaning or alternative media outlets don't go there, can't go there. Because if you're just getting legs to hold on and have any presence or have any business at all, you can't afford to get sued.
Yes, sued or shadow banned. You know, the minute we start talking about this, we're being shadow banned already. Thankfully, there's new places like Rumble where you can go where they don't harass you. X is now, Elon Musk is doing big things over there for conservatives, and I think that's going to help you out a lot moving forward to help out all these people and to get everybody sovereign. Before we forget, does anybody have any questions for Alicia? Am I saying it right? Is it Alicia or Alicia? I'm sorry.
Alicia.
Okay, I was going right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I like to make sure we have everybody's name right on here. And you told me a story about Ryan. I don't know. Are you allowed to tell me that story?
Absolutely. I have so many stories to publish on his case. So Ryan Samsel is at the center of what the moment the government calls the first breach.
Mhm.
It's so bogus. A first breach is shaking the fence. I'll just ask the rhetorical question. How many times have we seen the enemies of America shake a fence?
Right.
I mean, they took
Burn
down
down
the
buildings.
White House fence 6 months ago. They literally burnt down the White House black gate that they erected. I mean, no repercussions, no FBI raids. So Samsel and his co-defendant, first James Grant, shook the fence. Samsel actually approached a police officer and said, "Hey, we want to go to the inauguration stage. Trump is going to be there." And allegedly, according to him, he says the cop said, "Well, I'm gonna punch you in the face," or something like that. "Stand back." And so he goes and takes his jacket off, like, "Who do you think you're talking to?" Then Ray Epps comes. He's like, "Listen, man, we got people. Stand." What does he say? He's like,
So wait a minute. You're talking. So
Push, don't pull.
there's been a lot of questions because you see Ray Epps go up and whisper something to Ryan Samsel, and everybody, they're all guessing what he said, but you know exactly what he said. Is that what you're talking
There's
about?
what the New York Times planted him as saying, along with Julie Kelly, who's been the only person allowed across all airwaves and corporate press to provide the narrative. We won't talk about that Democrat mega donor. Right? We won't talk about the Monsanto pesticide peddler, Democrat mega donor, who's the spokesperson for January 6th at the front. Forget about her. What was your question, Eddie?
Well, no, my question was, so you had told me, because I asked you, I'm like, do you know what Ray Epps said to Ryan at that
He
time?
said, "Push, don't pull. We've got people." This is what Ryan Samsel has said, even when he's blinded, coming out of the hole, assaulted. Okay, so then, a crowd of 400 pushes over some gates that were fortified by 5 cops. He goes and picks the cop up. So anyway, that makes him a controversial defendant from the start. The government wants him to take a plea against Donald Trump, to go to Donald Trump's trial and say, "Trump made me do it." And he says, "Go F yourself." And then they beat the crap out of him. The first time they beat the crap out of him, excuse my language, is when he asked for bathroom tissue, toilet paper for hours from a guard. Richard Big O Barnett corroborated this story. He told me exactly what happened. Ryan himself hadn't told me this story. So he asked for toilet paper, and finally the guards brought him to the back after he insisted on having bathroom tissue, and everybody heard him get beat. Dominic Pizzola the next morning didn't see him move for hours. Around 4 p.m., they said he's moving, and they said his face, Big O said his face looked like hamburger meat.
Yeah.
Then he gets moved to Philadelphia, another bad one. This is another amazing story that I don't think I've ever been so moved to see such valor amongst people. So there's those photographs of Samsel where he's in the broom closet and there's a mop bucket. It's very viral. I think the whole world might have seen these pictures. General Flynn tweeted them out. Everybody did. Called it a national disgrace at the Gateway pundit. And turns out, until people start saying he's a plant, those pictures are fake, those pictures aren't real. I'm like, how would you know?
Right.
Have you visited a prison to know what the 6x8 freezing 17-degree cold with the AC on in the winter, starving cells are like, with the black mask hanging off it, the same one black mask hanging off your face for 17 months, like a slave, but worse? No. So turns out, Eddie, Zachary Rail,
good friend of mine,
told
great
us,
guy.
Yes, he's a great person, and so is his family. Zachary Rail, a Marine Corps veteran. Ryan was starving on the 8th floor in Philadelphia. Starving. He's like going week 2 with no food, 12 days perhaps. And he knows there's another J6er in the jail. He gives him a kite somehow. Basically, long story short, Zachary Rail smuggled Ryan through the toilet. He would save him some dinner every night and get him the food through the toilet. Called fishing, this is in jail. They fish through the toilet. And that's how he was able to survive. So then the guard, a few weeks in of this, sees some black crumbs on it because he would send him coffee and food. And the rope was so shitty.
Uh-huh.
Zach told me it's absolutely disgusting, but he wrapped the food up good.
Yeah.
And so the guards find the coffee from that Zach had sent up, a few crumbs of it, and they take him here where there is no more toilet. And they leave him here with the lights on for like 5 months before he goes back to Brooklyn over hundreds of miles away from the jurisdiction he's being tried. Again, it's not just him. This person, Ryan, I got to say, some of us don't stand tyranny too well when we ask for toilet paper for the 1,500th time in a day.
Yeah.
Some of us just stop being polite sometimes with petty tyrants.
Yeah. Swilly says, man, that's nasty what they're doing to him right there. I mean, that's disgusting.
What's more nasty is we have so-called patriots and Christians who want to continue to ridicule him and say he's a Fed when you don't take the time to talk to these people. Take the time to go to court. Take the time to get to know anything before you make up your mind.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a shame what they're doing. And I mean, that's just, can you imagine having to get your food through a toilet?
Yes, because I had to write about it, and therefore I vicariously imagined it all, and it was horrible.
Yeah, and thank goodness for Zach, helping him out. If Zach hadn't helped him that way, I mean, and Zach could have got in trouble. He's got a daughter to worry about.
Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, Zach is always so positive. Always so positive. When his wife was 6 months pregnant, and the FBI dragged him out of the house. And when I say dragged him out of the house, let's say Ryan said they told him they're going to paint the wall red. Right? You get noticed everywhere on the FBI watch list for walking around and getting shot.
After the trial, Zach actually emailed me from jail. I emailed him so he could, because you got to get on their list and everything. And he told me, he's like, Eddie, once this appeal goes through, I'm getting out. He's all, and you know what? I'm coming to visit you. My wife and I, we're going to come to California. And we're going to go have lunch and we're going to go do stuff, Eddie. And that's how positive Zach still is to this point, even though they're all the stuff they're doing to it. Like, can you talk about his pension?
Pull up the Gateway Pundit, Zachary Rail, FAFO.
Okay.
And so, at the trial, I didn't know Zach again until he was found guilty, and I finally got in communication with them all. Just an upstanding individual. Everything that you would think a veteran should be, or a U.S. Marine person should be. A military honor, respect, and just so much strength. They have more strength than I do to tell their stories. The U.S. Treasury Department, the government. So scroll down. Well, that's when he was charged. That's when he was found guilty. That's Zachary Rail. I want you to see the tattoo he got.
The tattoo?
So you got to pull up Zachary Rail, FAFO, and get the gatewaypundit.com, Alicia Pat. There you go.
Here it is.
His wife got to visit him for the first time with their daughter on a 2-day visit. Gets to get 4 hours a day. And that's the tattoo he got while he's in prison.
Oh, wow.
This is so hilarious.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is. Hold the line.
Heck yeah.
The Treasury Department was asking for him and Joe Biggs to pay back all the military benefits they and their family had received following January 6th. That was up to the tune of almost $100,000 while he's incarcerated. They wanted to pay back for being convicted of seditious conspiracy and being a veteran. And mind you, seditious conspiracy had only been used to prosecute people who committed mass casualty events, like blew up planes, like the Lockerbie bomber, shot up the whole place and killed hundreds. Not get shot at, bombed at, and walk around the taxpayer-funded U.S. Capitol building. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. These guys serve their country, and then they do this to them. I'm looking for Zach's Give Send Go. I just found it. So if you guys want to donate to Zach, You just type in support Zach Real on Give Send Go, ZACH, and then REHL.
And also, right now we are about to retain a new lawyer to fight this medical case. And this met for Ryan Samsel. He has a pro se complaint in New York pending, and the criminal case in New York pending with sentencing looming. And we're getting him a new lawyer because his own lawyer. I'm not supposed to talk about how bad his own lawyer is because he has the same lawyer as Steve Bannon. Let's just say it's the crappiest lawyer besides some of the other crappiest lawyers. I would imagine lawyers could be. I can't imagine defense attorneys agreeing with Joe Biden on everything.
No. Heck no.
And helping us.
Yeah. No. But yeah, so Zach's a true patriot. You know, he didn't even get to see his daughter. His daughter was born and he didn't get to go to her own birth because of this. You know, it's disgusting what they're doing to these men. And women.
Well, it's mostly men, let's face it.
Yeah.
Women aren't getting 10 years as often or getting picked up as much. There's like 300 that were held in pretrial detention, all men, 80% veteran. 80%? That's a high margin of veterans.
Right. And here's the part I don't get. Their whole narrative is that there was an insurrection. We were going to take over the Capitol, right? So if you have 80% veterans that are in that crowd, who I think almost every veteran that I know has weapons, almost every conservative I know has weapons, who is going to go and try and fight police and take over a Capitol with their bare hands? I don't think, it's not possible.
The government also likes terror enhancements. If you were wearing a helmet or if you had any kind of, hunting gear on. I mean, but rednecks wear hunting gear every day and walk around. So Antifa can wear knee pads and helmets and masks all day. But if you do it, you get a terror enhancement. Let's not talk about the terror enhancements, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. They said, Enrique Tarrio, in your personal text messages, you joked that Dominic Pizzola, you stated that Dominic Pizzola, when he hit the broken window, the window that was already broken, you said he was like George Washington. Terror enhancement. Zach Real, you did an interview with this reporter in which you said the election was stolen. Terror enhancement. And that's, I don't even know if that means more time because the government's still appealing their cases right now to get 33 to life.
Wow.
After they were found 22, 18, 17, 15, 10, the one who actually got physical was the one who was not convicted of seditious conspiracy, Dominic Pizzola, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But it's just so much, and there's so many more. But 98% of these defendants took plea deals. Yeah. Something Enrique did not do. He himself has a story similar to Samsel, where he last expressed before he was sent to prison that the government offered him to go home as long as he testifies against President Trump and tell say during his trial that Trump he took orders from Trump to deploy the Proud Boys there.
Yeah.
It's retarded.
And so you've been talking to Enrique a lot, and
the murders. Let's talk about the murders. Oh my goodness, the Ashley Babbitt. I don't know how to say that there's no private investigator on the Ashley Babbitt beat. I also don't know what to conclude from the fact that the statutes of limitations had passed for wrongful death and nothing had been filed. Numerous attorneys were on the case for the wrongful death and then they quit. Some of the attorneys who worked on her case claim she wasn't killed. I have no idea what's going on with anything, and I'm not going to sit and talk about the J6 orgs that don't, I'm not going to do that right now. That's for, bigger fish to fry.
Yes. And so, also they always forget about Roseanne Boyland, who died
absolutely.
That day, Now,
here's the tricky thing about this. The government cremated them right after they were killed, and the families never viewed the body.
Really? I didn't know that.
Now, we know Roseanne Boyland. I had actually found through sedition hunters, veterans brought me like thousands of hours of J6 footage that they accumulated from sedition hunters.
Mm-hmm.
These sedition hunters are internet sleuths who have made it their entire life to be like Ku Klux Klanmen, Nazi keyboard warriors,
Right.
and like spend an inordinate amount of time to like circle you, track your every move, facial recognize you, and make whole documents, long documents linking to every timestamp.
Yeah.
Who the heck is paying for that? I mean, so then you go back to Ashley Babbitt's murder. There's a video that's been viewed millions of times, published by Woo's News.
Uh-huh.
A lawyer who previously represented the family, who claims she wasn't killed, emphatically showed me that video. So because of that video, I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
Right.
And so I don't believe it. I don't know what to think. I need a ballistics report. We need that guy, Michael Baden, who does the forensic analysis on Fox, to come and tell us where the blood spills and the direction of the bullet could cause death, because she was shot in the shoulder, not the neck, which had been misreported. She was shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
And so many questions no one has answered. And when you ask questions, you get villainized, demonized, and attacked. Well, how do you investigate when you're not allowed to ask questions and you're not allowed to report on anything that's not strictly narrative control, such as the issues I just stated? So the wrongful death lawsuit filed by Judicial Watch was filed after the statute of limitations had passed, which is 2 years in the District of Columbia and 2 years in California, where the Babbitt family resides or previously resided. Good riddance, Judicial Watch got it through. Unfortunately, I don't trust our networks as much when they don't show up to court and call themselves Judicial Watch, as I previously did.
Oh yeah, so there's this. I was looking for this website, so it's called thetrumpify.com, and I'm just going to show you mine real quick. I mean, so what they've done, like they show everybody that I've ever taken a picture with. You know, they're circling people, they're naming them. You know, this is what they do, because all they do is sit at home all day. Their mommy and daddy pay for their rent and their food, and somebody else gives them money to do this stuff.
No,
right?
actually, they actually get recruited through George Washington University.
Is
George Washington's program on, what is it, extremism. And there was actually a defense attorney who's coercing defendants into taking plea deals, who's the alumni from this George Washington University program. She herself was a sedition hunter. It's very much, it's so complex, but so right in front of us. Yeah. It's just no one, who cares, right? Who cares? Sure. You don't care until it's you and your brother who went the wrong direction on the internet next year if Trump doesn't win.
Right.
You don't even have to go to the building. Just keep talking in the chat about what you really think.
Right.
If we don't stop it, that's what this is about. This is not about insurrectionists, Trump supporters getting testy, causing a terrorist attack. It's about the government waging like year 5 of terrorist attacks against we the people.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find the article, because Enrique's mom, she sent me an article. I gotta find it. But you had talked about it when we were on the phone the other day, about what he's doing right now in prison, the job that Enrique's doing. Did you want to talk about that? Because I think it's awesome.
Right? So Enrique is a dog trainer. He's training puppies. He trained one of the puppies he trained just went back to one of his friends. He got the dog outside of the jail to one of his close friends' houses. And of course, this is the Noriega, the Osama bin Laden of January 6th.
Yeah.
He gets to train puppies in Kentucky.
Yeah, he's training service dogs, right? Hold on,
Yeah.
I think I found it. I might have to fast forward a little bit.
There's an article about it on the Gateway Pundit. I did not publish it, but we can follow up on it. But good things are on the way. And I think Lady Justice doesn't see all, God doesn't see all, truth and karma are sleeping. Then we're not a country of faith.
Of course.
We don't know God. I think the God that I've seen through all of this always shows up right on time.
Oh, of course they do. Of course they do. Man, so this guy. Oh, here it is, right here. Let me see if I can play this section right here. Okay. It's this guy made this video here. Let me I'll put it up on the screen. Here we go. Hold on.
Yes, he did a great video on this.
No.
I can't hear it, Eddie, but
Oh, you can't hear it?
No, but I already watched it.
Okay.
I stay on top of this situation here. Isn't it just?
Hold on one second. I don't know why you can't hear that.
It's okay. I've already seen it.
Okay. Oh, I know why.
Because technology has a lot of buttons.
Actually, I know what I can do. Let me see.
Hidden buttons.
No,
Even
you know
these
what I'm gonna do?
captchas lately, I can't even figure out these captchas to prove I'm a human.
Oh, you're definitely a human. We all see you. Can you hear that?
Yeah, no, just play it if everyone can hear it.
Yeah,
Or say they say they can't hear it either.
They couldn't hear it either?
Well, no.
See.
I see in the
Hold on.
comments.
I found it. I found out why. We had to go to a different screen. So here we go. Let me share this one.
So everybody who took a plea deal, it's lovely that they go home. They've been going home. The government's still making more arrests. And the government's still picking up 2 people a day for their role in the Capitol riot. And same role. What's the role? The role is like the Middleton family was praying on the south lawn, on the lawn, and the government was trying to put them in prison for 50 years.
Yeah.
I never heard such a bizarre things in my life.
All right, I'm gonna try this time around so that way you can hear it too. It's because it's so great. I want to show it in its entirety so everybody can hear it because it is something worth showing. Because me having a service dog, it really hits home. And when Enrique's mom texted me this and she's like, "Hey, you got to see what he's doing," it blew my mind. So hopefully you can hear it this time. We'll play it from the beginning.
But there's another story about Enrique Tarrio that you should also know.
Yes.
You would think that someone who's been so unfairly treated might be sitting in his cell being depressed. But that's not what he's been doing. He's been working. The prison has a program where inmates can work and train service dogs. What they do is they give the prisoner a newborn puppy, and the dog sleeps in a kennel next to the prisoner in his cell. Enrique Tarrio has been training this puppy to be a service animal. He's spending his time in prison working to make the people's lives outside better. He's literally in his cell playing with puppies. I've got to say, it's getting harder and harder not to like this guy. A couple in Texas had just lost their dog to cancer, and they were looking for a service dog to adopt. They heard there was one available through the prison system. The couple drove across the country to pick up the dog Enrique was training. The dog is called Blue. When this couple arrived at the prison, what they found was the most amazing puppy. Blue was only 5 months old. They received a journal that Enrique had wrote about the dog. In it, he explains the commands he taught, including roll over, high five, and shaking hands. The dog is doing all of this at only 5 months old. I want to read you the instructions he wrote for the command home. Probably the most coveted of commands. Blue will return indoors when you say, go home. We know Blue will be going to a good home, as most of us feel we will also be enjoying soon. So we hope you enjoy Blue as much as we have. He truly is the definition of good boy. You're his handler now and are now in charge of his happiness. We wish you and Blue well. Some of my new subscribers.
So that's Enrique being this awful guy, right? This insurrectionist, mean person, Enrique Tarrio. It's a shame. No, I showed a video the other day when I was telling you we're in Beverly Hills and we're walking down the streets and some guy is starting a fight with some Antifa, some conservatives. And Enrique runs over there and he's like, knock it off. We're not here to fight. We're here to do the right thing. You're making us look bad because you're being dumb. Stop it. And so, they say he's a fighter and he stopped the fight. He didn't, It's sad, just so sad. Oh, you're muted.
The very beginning,
There you
right?
go.
You sit in court. You had the jurors. So you had to take a litmus test. Judge Kelly says to the jurors, did you support Black Lives Matter? Have you ever attended a Black Lives Matter protest? Yes, yes. Have you ever attended a women's march? Yes, yes. Does anybody you know work for the government or has worked for the government? Yes, I used to be a DHS illustrator. Oh, yes, my husband works for the DOE over here in the Biden administration, of course. Yes, yes. What do you think about the Proud Boys? They're a group of white supremacists, insurrectionists. They even said seditionists.
Mm-hmm.
But they never heard of the Proud Boys. That's all they know.
Yeah.
And each one of them was rubber stamped to sit on the jury.
Yep.
So, and then each of their lawyers, which I know they won't say it themselves, nobody wants to say it, and I respect these lawyers, at least a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
They all despise Trump. They all said to Judge Kelly, Timothy Kelly, that Trump is to blame. He is the criminal. He should be on the stand, not my clients here.
Yeah.
And they also insisted that the defendants don't testify. None of them, and Joe and Enrique didn't testify. Dominic and Zach testified. On Dominic's testimony, he explained that the FBI was trying to coerce him, same way they did some others, to lie about Joe Biggs having a gun that day. Now, there was someone with a gun that day that was arrested after everything cooled down. Everybody cannot communicate. They can't communicate with each other because then the story comes together, right? Because Ryan Samsel, after he left that cell with the coffee, he was put in a cell with Dominic while the FBI was squeezing Dominic Pizzola into lying about Joe Biggs. They also tried to squeeze Ryan into lying about Joe Biggs. And this is where the torture techniques, the enhanced interrogation comes in. Mm-hmm. Right? And then so Dominic Pizzola said on trial, he said this, I was going to lie to go home. And I refused after I came back to my senses.
Yeah.
It's just why?
Look at what Lauren says. Lauren says, Eddie, the peacemakers always take the heat. As a lifelong peacemaker, I know. That is so true. People trying to make the peace are the ones that take the heat, not the people that are bad. So
you got to be brave. You got to be willing to stand alone with God and be protected in God's armor, knowing that. Because if we are not brave today, then we are going to be simultaneously marching off a cliff, following orders, and hating each other. 100%. Hating each other, competing with each other when there should not be scarcity here. There's an abundance here for everyone. If there was more synergy in all of this, we wouldn't be a decaying nation right now.
Yes, 100%. 100%. While we have the people here, do you want to tell everybody how they can find you, Alicia?
Well, my last Twitter account that was shadow banned anyway has been hacked. I am with WorldNet Daily. I haven't published anything for quite a while, but I've got a lot of reports coming up. And this is the first broadcast I've done in about 2 months. And I won't talk about why. Let's just say there's a reason why family members of these defendants choose not to speak. Mm-hmm. Because there's stuff that happens to the journalists too. What makes you realize you better get famous or you better quit. Because no one's gonna know what happens to you if you don't make yourself known enough. Julian Assange just got let free. Mm-hmm. Joe Biggs is an former InfoWars journalist who had his own show too. Look at where he is now. Enrique was running for office and had his own podcast too. Look at where he is now. So we got to move smarter and wiser. And it's understandable why there isn't. Again, I don't think it's understandable, but I can understand why people don't want to touch this issue with a 10-foot pole.
Sure.
It's sticky, it's grimy, and there's Satanism around it. I mean, I could pull up some footage. I could send you an article right now. You can see my name and all of our names. Anyone who is a defendant or I don't know who else. All the J6ers names have been blasted on the sidewalk outside of the federal courthouse, written in chalk by Antifa. And this is what they do daily. They write satanic pentagram 666 and all the profane accusations. Alicia does Xanax and is a whore. All this horrible language. This is what you walk into. It's sanctioned by the security guards. Nobody does anything about it. The moms and wives leave the courthouse with Antifa putting a bullhorn in their face, calling them all horrible curse words and curses and hexes.
Yeah.
This is spiritual warfare, Eddie, and we're equipped for it.
Well, you know what that means, though? So when they're attacking you, that means you are moving in the right direction. You're doing the right thing. That's why they have to attack you, because they're afraid of you, because you're telling the truth, in my opinion. And that's the only way they can go after you.
That's all I can do is tell the truth. I don't know how to lie anymore, to be honest. All I can do is be quiet or tell the truth. I don't have the lying option. What is it a lie about? It's only to cover up for folks at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
Or protect yourself and shut up.
So Alicia and I, we're going to start doing, we're talking about doing something Monday through Thursday for you guys, you know, a show every day live. And do you want to tell them what your thoughts are and how you want this show to progress?
Well, I endeavor to create a new media outlet that, you know, kind of synthesizes InfoWars, Project Veritas, and Gateway Pundit. Places that I've had the pleasure of working with or being well acquainted with over the years. And, you know, we can only wish for the stars and land amongst the moons or vice versa, whatever. But, I mean, there's so much work. Look at how our nation needs to know more about math and science and cures and medical breakthroughs and SpaceX.
Yes.
I have never seen more activity of rockets going to outer space in my entire life. And we are just like absent of whatever the machine wants us to know is what we're focused on. We have to be the creative, not the reactionary. So that's what I'm endeavoring to achieve. You know, it's election time. I'll have reports on WorldNet Daily, National File. I've got another
WND.com, right?
WorldNet Daily, WND.com. And there's another, in the midst of all this, there's another GOP congressman we just found out, I won't say his name today, who was having homosexual sex inside the U.S. Capitol. This congressperson who will be exposing in a few days, was one of the 10 members of Congress, GOP congressmen, who sought to impeach Trump.
Wow.
And so corruption.
Tons of corruption.
We need more positivity. I think the problem, Eddie, is the news doesn't provide the cures. And I think we should endeavor to change that. It just 100%. Gives us a reason to be mad and no solutions. There's plenty of things we can do. Besides donate, there's plenty of things to do. Let's give the people solutions as a network, and then we can get moving.
Yes. Yeah, and that's you know, like you said, some of the easiest things you can do is, you know, when Alicia puts out these stories and her news articles and we do this show, just share it. That's how you help us out, get the information out. If you can't afford to donate, or if you can't, you know, even just writing a letter to Enrique, Joe, Zach, Don, all these guys that are in jail.
The letters, like when they receive the letters, it helps them get through mentally to know people even know they're there. It can bring some of them to joy. I mean, you can listen to Owen Schroyer, who did 4 months mostly in solitary confinement the whole time. InfoWars host Owen Schroyer. He said with the letters how they helped them get through staring at the wall in that 6x8 cell, freezing cold. Has no business being in jail for what? Using a bullhorn?
Yeah. And if you guys want to write anybody, you can go to, I think it's j6politicalprisoners.com. If not, email me.
Patriot Mail Project has all of their, they keep track of where everyone is and how to stay in touch. And it makes a big difference in their lives day to day, where they're surrounded by pedophiles, rapists, mass murderers. And guess what? Almost everybody in these prisons, they love Trump.
They do.
Just like a few petty tyrant guards can't stand it, but also the J6ers, people like applaud them, give them hugs, and call them political prisoners and look up to them. Not everyone. But that's, best we could ask for, I guess.
Yeah. It just sucks that the best. Well, hopefully we can get these guys out of there. Thankfully, President Trump is hopefully going to win. Yeah. Matter of time.
No, I'm talking like we got 25 days and time is up, government. Go and run and hide, because the good guys have always been in charge. It's just a long game now. They got 25 days to go shuffle, to go quit, to go stare in the mirror and pee on their pants.
Yeah. So you're confident that President Trump is going to pardon all the J6 political prisoners?
Absolutely.
Good.
He's already said it himself. President Trump has won the election already. What are we weeping over here? Why?
Right? I mean, it's not hard to beat Kamala Harris, right?
We got AI on. Elon Musk has brought us all stuff they don't even know how to. They don't even know. We don't even know.
Yes, and real quick, what
AI
you said
in America now, run by what is it? America first.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's on our side, the AI. At least for now, as far as we can know, the Satan suit is gone too.
Yeah. Well, one thing everybody needs to remember, okay? Let's say on election day, if you're going to vote and something goes wrong, your tire goes flat or something, and say, he's going to win. I don't have to go vote. No, you need to make sure you get down there and vote. I don't care how hard it is.
Eddie, I want to give away some of my Project Veritas trade craft since the company is defunct.
Okay.
And I'm going to say what you need to do on election day. Where's my phone? I don't know where it is. Have your phones record. If you're willing to work all day, stay there and record. Where was I? I was in the Georgia World Congress Center where all the ballots were being harvested and mixed around and shuffled. And I'm going to testify about this, by the way. I've been subpoenaed to testify about it. I'm not supposed to talk about it. But wear your cameras and be undercover journalists that day and post all of it on X.
Yes.
And post it on Truth Social and post it on YouTube till we all get banned together. Because at this point, what are you going to put us all in prison together? I don't think so.
Not
we
enough
can try.
And it can't, because we're the ones that make the money to pay for those prisons.
They can all go defunct if we just go back to the good old days with a strike and a boycott and cohesion. Bye-bye, demons. Instead, we're like, they don't want us to go to work unless we take the shot. They don't live unless we go to work, though. They don't live unless we turn the TV on.
No. Man, so anything else you want to say, Alicia? I know you're kind of on a time constraint today, and but you are going to see more of this amazing journalist here, a good friend of mine, and we're going to be coming to you every day helping.
Eddie, you're amazing. Country. The work that you're doing is amazing. I know that you help veterans, and I know that you had the courage to come over here with your dog, Trump. Your dog's name is Trump, and you had a red tie on him when you take the stand. I mean, and you made everyone so happy that day. I know they all were so happy that you came and you testified and you spoke for them when they couldn't. Yeah. Literally. So I commend you, Eddie, and everyone watching you guys. Thank you, supporters. Just stay strong in prayer and faith. Just the outcome is certain as long as we feel it.
100%. And so right now, if you guys need to get a hold of Alicia, I don't know if you want to give out your email, but you can email me. Everybody knows EddieBlockFilms@gmail.com. I can pass it along.
I'm not too hard to find.
Yeah, so I can pass it along if you have questions for it, or if you want to send us the questions, because we're going to start doing a daily show. And that way we can put it on the show and your question will be featured. And Miss Alicia Powe will sit there and answer all your questions with the truth, not what the fake media is telling us, what the real media is telling us. He job security. That's Jennifer. She's like, your beauty and brains. You're one smart lady.
Beauty's a light in the heart.
So Jennifer is also one of my co-hosts too, as well. So you'll get to meet Jennifer eventually when she comes on the show. And
we're in an unprecedented time. We need to raise our voices. There is no common man. There's just geniuses who have dormant powers. I don't know what to say, Eddie. We need to stop having overseers and influencers. You yourself is the influencer.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, so we're going to end it here for today, but we are definitely going to be back for more. You're going to see a lot more of this young, intelligent woman right here, and she's going to do big things. She's going to help get everybody out of jail if she hasn't already. And thank you so much.
Well,
Anything else you want to say?
That's a lot of weight on your shoulders, Eddie. I'm going to get everybody out of jail. Okay.
Hey, I have
agree with you.
faith. I have faith.
Well,
in
I
you.
agree. We already got some people out of jail.
Definitely. I mean, she calls me at all times of the day telling me, "Oh, I'm working on this story, Eddie. We got to talk about this. Hey, I'm working on this, Eddie. We got to talk about that." And then she's a mother. She's a single mother taking care of a beautiful daughter. So this woman is somebody to look up to. I look up to you, Alicia.
Don't be telling the feds about my family now. All right.
Anyways,
likewise, Eddie. I will talk with you later. God bless everyone.
God
Good
bless
night.
you guys. All right, guys. Look for us Monday again, and we'll be back Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a great day, everybody. Hold on one second, Alicia. Oh, you left me.